Brothers and sisters, generals, welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion and Nature Podcast, brothers and sisters, and I salute to those who are staying with it on this firm foundation that so many of us have, went through so many fires and challenges and so-called storms to get where we are. So be thankful and let that great divine flow freely and naturally and receive. I'm going to say that again. Let that great divine flow freely and naturally and receive. And what are we receiving? We are receiving those great divine thoughts, those great divine gifts that come into our spirit. Some of us feel this, we got to get away from the thinking things are weird and looking at people's side eye. Let's see what each other's, we be surprised when we connect to one another. Again, I always say, brother, sister, current subscriber, new subscriber, those who are in touch with oneself, anyone that view, we talking real talk here, encouragement, those who are tapped in to that divine self, everybody's an individual. We know when we know, we get to a certain point, a level of our lives of a heightened self-awareness where shit gets real, or a certain age where shit gets real. And sometimes I might cuss and get a little bold, but as you follow along, as we ride along on this channel, you will see that I try one's best to keep it real. Again, like I said a few minutes ago, shit gets real talk. So when we get to a space when we're able to control one's emotions and impulses and all those things that keep us from being triggered from person, place, or thing, and we feel these things now, if we're at a good level and we have some intelligence and we have some maturity about ourselves, we know when we know. So, and it's a battle, because I don't want to talk like this is a easy, a stable mental mind. For some of us, it wasn't easy. It was I don't take that lightly, because it was a challenge for me. Real talk. I will always be real about that. That's number one on the list of letting that great divine flow freely, naturally, and receive. But these are steps that it can be very challenging, and has been for a lot of us down through the years, whether ancestors, those in our families, those in the world who, just living a normal life and just trying to live good. And we have those that are speaking and giving knowledge, some in the world, some in neighborhoods and communities. You do have those that are putting forth the effort and putting their foot down in communities. I'm talking about the real ones. They are out there. But of course, when you have righteous generals that are putting their foot down in communities and, so-called hood quotation marks, we don't hear much about it. It's not glorified like the wrong things are, shit that we don't need to be glorified. So, but if you were enlightened and you in touch with that divine spirit that I was speaking on a minute ago, and you are receiving truth and good knowledge, and you are there, we know that, so I'm saying all this to say, that's why we, our ancestors, the warrior that was in them, as I said in a podcast I did a few days ago, that's why we have all these reachers and teachers out here now, because there are those that are connected to that warrior spirit of our ancestors, those who did give a damn, and their spirit still gives a damn, So be thankful if you are in touch with that spirit within you, and if you brother, sister, family member, young or old, and we're talking about a righteous spirit, and it's just something in you that compels you to do the right thing, whether it's something to impact the world or just impact the space that we are in. Always start right where we are. Look at the smaller before we get to the bigger. Sometimes it's small steps, sometimes it's leaps and bounds, but it depends on what, generals? How we are as an individual, how much willpower we have, what we indulge in, what we think about on a day-to-day basis, whether we are in a social gathering or workplace or somewhere in the world, or when we are by ourselves, because that's what it matters the most. What we harbor and think about the most when we are by ourselves. Will we do the right thing when no one's looking? That's a question, And That's one thing. That's why I say, I don't know how those, I was listening to a clip of someone was speaking on how people don't think. Now we're talking about the real God, the real positive force, that you have some idiots out there that think that there's no such thing as that positive force, but they believe that but they doing negative things. But some of them, we hear this demon time shit. You know, where the fuck did that come from? You know, we don't believe in something that's right and pure. Not believe, because I don't believe in that word belief, for one. I've been taught by some great teachers about that word belief. So forgive me for even using that word. We have to know. And that goes back to what I'm getting ready to say. That's why you have idiots that believe in this demon shit. You know, again, quotation marks on belief, you know, and that right there, because belief leads doubt. There's no foundation in belief. So that's why it leads, you know, idiots that believe in the devil, you know, and think it's cool, think toxic shit is cool, leads them astray. And right there, that's blind, you know, and they think it's cool. And most of it stems from social media, getting attention and getting likes and views and exposure, as my son Lord Lamont says. And I'm so thankful that my son is not caught up in this social media shit. You know, he's kind of like his dad, you know, and the rest of my children. I don't think that they're really caught up in it really that much, you know, because a lot of them weren't really born into the social media. It came a little after, you know, my children that are grown. My 9-year-old not really caught up in it so much, and I have to kind of get that to his mom. His mom, she's really strict on the kids being on social media a lot. So be thankful if you have children that are not too caught up in the social media shit. But I'm talking about, we even have adults that's caught up in, I'm talking about the bad parts of it, where have you just not aware of the shit you're doing to get attention, because this thing can be very, very powerful. It really can. So don't take the power of the media itself and social media, because there's a difference. You have the media, then you have social media, and it can be very, very powerful, and especially when you're not aware of how powerful it is, that's even worse. So if you are intact or connected to that divine spirit, be thankful. Don't take it for granted. And that divine spirit, it means something different to everyone that's connected to it, you know, because there's different ways. But as I said before, and I'll say it again, there's only one God, the real God. When we talk about the God that keep us from doing the wrong things, that help us to deflect wrong thoughts that enter our psyche. Because remember, folks, everything begins with a thought. Everything else comes secondary. The body always follows the mind. So if you're healthy, mind, body, and soul, and you choose to do devilish shit and glorify in it, I hope you're ready for what's to come. Because there's some that idiots forget: accountability and consequences. There's no escaping that. It's gonna come. You know, it might not come soon, but it's gonna come sooner or later. The more you dibble and dabble in the devil-like ways, evil, toxic, narcissistic, selfish, don't give a damn. Because if you don't give a damn, apparently, if you care about devil shit and you're glorifying it, especially if it's for attention, and you got those that's following along with you, that's even worse. And those who follow or support those who do devil shit, shame on you. I feel sorry for you, because that's demons that's going to be passed down to you and your family if you have children and stuff like that. That's why it's not good to engage in evil, devilish, demonic shit. I mean, it's not a joke. Real talk, it's not a joke. And it's just a matter of time, you know. And a lot of us have experience. We have experience, you know, going through hardships, and we lived a bad life, and what happened to us. You know, I always use Malcolm X as an example. You know, Malcolm X wasn't always a great speaker and a good brother, you know, and he spoke on that. And if we do, a lot of us have done our research. Remember, Malcolm X was a criminal. He been to jail. Actually, that's when he transformed, after he went to jail. You know, I've been to jail. I've been in the penitentiary. Real talk. I got a podcast right here on my channel about when I went to the penitentiary, but it was way back in the 90s when penitentiary was different back then when I went. And actually, I met some of the realest brothers when I was locked up. It was so encouraging. I never met more real brothers in my life when I was locked up. I met more real brothers in there than out here in the world. And that's real talk. So, but that was way back in the 90s, and I only did 6 months. It was just a minimum prison. It wasn't maximum. And it's a real good brothers. I had my own workout crew and everything. It was great, and that was the most healthiest time of my life. It was a detoxing time, and I transformed. But of course, when I got out, I wasn't quite all there, because that was back around my maybe mid-20s, around my 30s. So I was still kind of going through the maturity stages, because most of us, you know, I don't have statistics, but most of us as men, I say men in general, but black men, some of us, I can't put it on all of us, it take us a little longer to mature. And I can't really speak for everybody, but for me, it took a while. It really did. It took a while. I had to really go through some shit and dig deep, and things had to happen for me to finally mature. You know, I finally got there, but woo, it was a hell of a freaking road, folks. I can't lie. But I'm just using myself as an example. Now I'm paralleling myself with Malcolm X and many others, you know. And I'll even say one of my favorite comedians, Ali Sadiq, and I've seen a lot of his specials, and he talked about when he went to prison. Very funny brother, intelligent, freaking hilarious. I love Ali Sadiq. Salute to Ali Sadiq and many other comedians. As I said, I'm gonna do a podcast about my favorite comedians, and it'll be famous or on YouTube. It'll be brother or sister. And whoever listening to this, you'll be surprised the names I have of some of those who are funny. And I mean people that's just naturally funny. Not even those that are not comedians. Like right here on YouTube, people I listen to that can be funny, catch you off guard, and just, man, be like, man, he crazy. Yeah, but I'm gonna have a podcast on that. But I listened to Ali Sadiq, and he's one of the best storytellers ever. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know who he is. I mean, you listen, man, I'm telling you, and I can really relate to him and a lot of things he speak on in prison and stuff. But he was in there with some tough brothers. So his when he went to prison is totally different when I went. And I'm sure it was the same with Malcolm. But as I said, a lot of us have had our down times, and where we, you know, maybe used to lust after girls, which I used to too, you know, lust after women and all that crazy crap. And this brother or sister, you know, sisters go through their transformation too. But as I was getting ready to say, the statistic, I don't have a statistic. I think it take a little longer for men in general, but you know, some brothers to mature, and I was gonna say women in general or sisters tend to mature a little quicker. You know, some, you know, that's kind of what I've learned, you know, from having daughters. They kind of mature a little quicker. They know what's expected of them. You know, some, you know. But I have to look at this statistic. I don't want to be giving nothing wrong. That's just from experiences and, you know, my opinion. But you know when you tapped into that divine spirit, you just know, you know. And what I said a few minutes ago, when you finally get into a space, and this could be a young adult or older adult, you just come into that place of awareness. Now, you come into that place of awareness in our human body, as I always say. That's like the first phase. Then you go through this era where you're studying yourself, you're learning yourself. Then you finally know yourself. Then when you know yourself, you can see things in others. You become a mirror, whether they're good or bad. You start to see deeper into things. And that's that divine spirit. And when we get to that space and we feel that, and we maybe see things in our dreams or sometimes have psychic abilities, you know, step into that. Long as it's not like hurting us or hurting nobody else. I always say that. If it's just something in us that just make us see things and have what? My favorite word, clarity. When we get to that space, when we can see things in person, place, or thing, not oblivious, not that we don't care, but we learn how to not jump off impulses and understand things. And it could be, like I said, it could be challenging to get to that space, but I'm telling you, I'm not the only one that feel this. It's a lot of us that feel this awakening. I'm just gonna say it, this awakening that a lot of us are feeling and coming into. You have some in the beginning stages, some that's in the middle of the transformation, some that have went through the transformation. But what do, generals? What do, my generals? We never stop learning. We're always a student of human nature and that great divine. But what is the one we got to be a student of the most? Ourselves. Because when we know ourselves and know our spirit, and we ain't got that old cockamamie devil bullshit in us that people are glorifying out here, which is fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. And like I said, we got individuals And this could be high status or YouTube status, where people, and we got people like support following these people. That's what gets me. People, and people are not dumb. People know when something ain't right. But I don't know. It's just something. And I would have to say mostly melanated brothers and sisters. It could be younger adults but like again, you got older adults too, brother or sister, that's just as bad as some young. I'm talking about ones that's, I don't know, either not aware or don't want to be aware or don't care. And follow individuals that's clearly demonic. I would never ever understand that. Because, when you're enlightened, when you have been through things, you know what's to come. To get wrapped up in that evil shit and that dark shit, you know what's to come. And I have family, and I know energy. I've come to know energy. I've learned it. I know energy is real. It's nothing to play with. So if you're following something demonic or supporting something, and in your gut that ain't right, because we all know. We all get that gut feeling. Some of us just don't. And that gut feeling is that divine voice. And I always say the divine protects us on the inside. Mother Nature protects us on the outside. We got two shields, But some people follow this shit and then wonder why effed up things happen in their lives, because you're connecting to wrong things. You can't connect to demonic, devilish things and then expect good things. That's an oxymoron, if I say that right. It's man, come on now. That's like oil and water. Either we gonna be, we gotta be right. We gotta be all in, and that's for me too. Now you get to that point when the truth, we come into, everybody's gonna come into the truth. I always this is my favorite thing to say. The truth comes for everybody. It just depends on what we do with it. But we all know the truth. We all have our own truth, but we also have that truth of the world, of things that's going on. But people want to act like they don't want to see it and hide and put their head in the sand. No, it's not going to go away, especially when it comes to dealing with ourselves. Because, as we all say, if you can't deal with that enemy within, you're fucked. Real talk. The enemy is just going to destroy you on the outside. So if you want to be like a piece of candy and let that demonic force suck on you, go right on the head. But I feel sorry for those who are following individuals that are clearly demonic, because I love being righteous. I don't care how much of a challenge it is. And it leads you to some amazing things when we let that great divine spirit flow freely and naturally, and we're receiving, so many great things. It's great perks. It's worth the battle. It's worth the fight. Isn't it, my generals? Those who listen, my leaders and teachers, current subscriber, new subscriber, stay fired up. Be hungry for great life, and breathing life into others. That's what keeps us looking young. That's what keep our immune systems ready and strong. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but and it's many of us like this. It's not just me. And I'm not, I can get sick just like anyone else. I'm not no superhero. I'm not invincible. But we can have superhero thinking. It's all how we think. We can think highly of ourselves. We're supposed to. That's what that great divine wants. We can't think low of ourselves. We're supposed to think highly of ourselves. Especially those who are teachers and leading and helping others see the generals within them. Because if we thinking highly of ourselves, that energy, folks, it's not a joke. We pass it on to someone else. And all of us have experienced this. You feeling down or something, and you end up talking to a family member or it's just someone we know that's very positive all the time. We connect with them and they just make us feel so much better. Or we can hear somebody speak online that's positive, that'd be like, whoa. Or we see a positive quote. So energy is real. So those who believe, I don't know, following demonic shit, I feel sorry for you, because the devil just laughing. Like, look at these idiots glorifying me. They so stupid. That's how the devil talk to people that believe in it. They think, it's the power. It's like, it's intoxicating, that devil shit. It's like it's intoxicating. But what goes up must come down. And it's crazy how people don't even think about God when they live in this devilish life, and they just living and going and moving. And the devil just like, look at this dumb ass. He's just so stupid. Or he or she just don't even know what I'm about to do today. It's just so stupid. And then something happened. And then oh God. I mean, it's crazy. Don't wait for bad things to happen. Be prepared for when they come. If they come, you know, because you in a righteous space most of the time, you'll see it before it come, and we'll create ways to prevent it and come up with what? That's the amazing tool that Great Divine gives us. Solutions, a way, at least looking for a way. Because if you're looking for a righteous solution, it will come. I've experienced this. Most of us that are at our highest level of teaching have been doing it for a while. And man, had a lot of kinks along the way. But those kinks just what? Empower us and deflect demonic, devilish shit. You know, because that's not, I don't see how nobody could live like that, living in the dark. And because those who, and I would say those who are in the limelight, so to speak, maybe on YouTube, maybe in the world, or do have some kind of exposure. But I'm talking about those who are like really devilish. I bet they suffer when they're alone, because you don't have to go to hell to be in hell. So even though, you know, I was thinking this morning, I was meditating. I was like, in the end, the Great Divine wins. Just because you see somebody with money, that we know that's demonic, that a lot of us do know, just because it look like man, they don't even care that they demonic. When they get to themselves, folks, that's when the devil attacks them. I talked about this before. That's when the devil attacks. You know, of course they're gonna pretend like in public everything's okay, and yeah, I'm on demon time and all that old dumbass shit. But when they get to themselves, brothers and sisters, trust me, that's when they're in hell. Because you can create your own hell, baby. Real talk, you know. So don't think that they're not dealing with any demons, because you fuck around. You play with fire. You play with fire, you're gonna get burnt sooner or later. Real talk. Real talk. So many of us have been through fires. We know what it's like. And we know how much more powerful. Great Divine is way more powerful than this negative force could ever be. But we have to connect to it and embrace it to know it. So, as I said, never stop letting that Great Divine flow through us. Flow freely, naturally, and let it and receive. Receive, always receive. And I say keep receiving because we stay a student. You know, we keep learning. We stay mindful. You know, be thankful of the things we didn't do before now to get us to the foundation that we are in right now. Because everything we did, everything we worked for, all the tears we may have shed, the times we felt sad, all the times we felt bad, you know, we went through all that shit to get us to the righteous foundation, I gotta say again, that we're standing on right now. So my righteous brothers and sisters of that light, be proud, you know, because we just getting started. That Great Divine getting ready to show up and show out. Actually, it's already, that positive force already showing up and showing out. Yeah, you might have those that, you know, like I'll use artists as an example, but it's many people like this, not just artists. You know, you got a lot of positive brothers and sisters that's, man, that's getting it in. I would say underground, you know, that's not getting glorified as much, but the demonic shit, the devil shit, the wrong shit, that's what's getting glorified. But those of us that have that light, we know this, but it's only a matter of time for those who will fall, you know, and we've seen it. We've seen it, whether it's just, you know, a regular brother and sister in our personal lives or some that's so-called famous. We've seen it time and time again throughout the year, especially if you studied the industry and the matrix and all, and, you know, things that are fake of the world that's been pulling the wool over our eyes. A lot of things we have seen fall. We've seen a lot of damage, a lot of people we love, you know, transition. But overall, we've seen some powerful brothers and sisters rise up. We are seeing them rise up. And those that so-called demonic and devilish that seem like they're never going to fall, they will eventually. And as I said a few minutes ago, when they're by themselves, trust me, they're going through hell. I don't care what people act like in front of people. When you're doing demonic shit and you know it's wrong and it's bad for your mind, body, and soul, of course that devil gonna keep you in hell. Of course gonna keep you in shackles, you know, until we connect to that divine spirit and let it flow freely and naturally. And we have to receive. We have to be ready to righteously receive. And I'm telling you, and the floodgates will open for all those amazing things. Love for our reachers and teachers, you know, and, you know, being quiet and listening to our children, our youth, and you know, letting them know that they can talk to us. Be thankful we got mothers and fathers and, you know, and relatives that that really do care, those who in communities, you know, like I said, those in the world that are offline, you know what I'm saying, and really giving an impact and do care about humanity and or culture. I salute you and I acknowledge you. You know, those who giving in to this demonic shit, even those who act like they're not demonic and pretending like they're righteous, or you're going to get it the most. You're going to get it the most. At least those who, you know, I don't condone that devil shit, but I would rather it be right in front of me than somebody secretly doing it, because that's the worst. Real talk. So, and I'm telling you, and it's a ripple effect either way. Just like when we're righteous, it's a righteous ripple effect. We righteously affect everyone we encounter. But the flip side, when you're devilish, which is crazy, because it seems like sometimes, and I use a platform as an example. Let's say someone have a platform and they're demonic. They would seem to have the most people riding with them and the most views. That's crazy. But what goes up must come down. It's only a matter of time. You know, just got to be confident in that, you know, and having less is not bad. Having less is good. So when you got less on your plate, you know, and I'm talking about like mentally in our mind, you know, when we have too many things in our mind, because I mean, it's good to, now if you have a righteous brother or sister that got a righteous platform and got many riding along with them, that's wonderful. That's great. You flow freely because there's nothing demonic going on. Because what happens with negative energy, it causes friction. You know, it makes things uneasy. It's nothing in alignment. But when you have a positive, and I'm talking about whether in the world or online, but I'm just using platform as an example. When you have a righteous platform, things flow freely. You know, you just laugh out of nowhere, and it's just natural, and there's no kinks. Now you might have one idiot that might come through every now and then, but you'll feel it when everyone on there is positive. If one person is devilish or demonic, it will literally highlight itself. So that's why it's important that everyone should at least be close to being in the same alignment that's, you know, on these platforms or in the world. You know, if you got, you know, family or, you know, in a group or whatever, when everybody's in alignment, that one person that is negative and demonic, it will show. It will show. So, and those who are demonic, like I said, they go through their own hell. Even if it do look like nothing will ever happen to them and they're invincible. They're not invincible, because even the devil is calling them an idiot. That's what they don't realize. Even the devil look like, oh, you a fool for following me. That's how the devil thinks of those who glorify that shit. So my warriors out there, my generals, current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view, family member, brother or sister, as I said, if you feel it in your soul, and again, like I said, we know when we know, continue doing what we've been doing. Those in the beginning stages, you know, if you feel that, if you're starting to see signs in your dreams and things are starting to open up, and you do kind of feel a little bit of that awakening, hold on to it. Keep going. There's more things to come. Because when you keep that great divine, man, keep it. Keep that great divine spirit forevermore, and let it flow freely, naturally. And I guarantee you, brothers and sisters, generals, family, we will receive. Salute.